All right, everybody. So if you're absent the other day, let's go ahead and review what we did in class about weather maps. Now, on the first page, you have this reading, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. And as I read it, I want you to go ahead and write down what you see on the paper, okay? So weather maps help us predict what the weather will be like where we live or where we are. We can learn about changes in temperature, pressure, and what kind of storms are likely to come our way. We just have to learn how to read one. Now, weather maps give us a lot of clues about the weather. One of the first clues weather maps give us are cold and warm fronts. Cold fronts bring heavy storms and decrease temperature in an area. Warm fronts bring us light or mild rain and increase temperature in an area. These fronts are on the move and they may pass over your city or town, bringing changes in weather with them. Now, if you look at this map over here, you might recall, hopefully know your directions, okay? On this map, we have north, east, south, and west, okay? That is particularly important for this lesson, so make sure you know your directions. Now, we have warm fronts, which are typically red and have this semicircle type of shape on them, and cold fronts, which are blue and have these triangles on them. Now, the symbols point to where the front is moving, okay? Again, warm fronts typically bring light rain and warmer weather, and cold fronts bring heavy thunderstorms and colder weather. On this map up here, you see a cold front over here and a warm front down here. Okay, so in this example, the cold front has passed Denver and is moving towards St. Louis, and the warm front has passed over Florida and is moving towards Atlanta. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the bottom of this page and talk about pressure systems. We also learn about atmospheric pressure when we look at a weather map. We can determine if an area is experiencing high or low pressure by looking at the symbols. Areas experiencing high pressure, a capital H, are clear. The atmospheric pressure is strong and keeps storms away. Areas experiencing low pressure, a capital L, frequently have storms. This is because the atmospheric pressure is not very dense and storms are able to fill the space. Now, sometimes people can confuse high and low pressure with high and low temperature. High pressure can be warm or cold, but it always has clear skies and you can see the sun. Think about it. Have you ever been outside in the wintertime and it's sunny, but you're still cold? You're experiencing high pressure. On the other hand, low pressure can also be warm or cold. When we have low pressure, we have clouds and storms. Okay, so high pressure is a capital H, it's typically blue. And low pressure is a capital L, it's typically red. With high pressure areas, we have clear skies or good weather, sunny weather. Okay, high pressure starts with an H, just like the word happy. Okay, so high pressure systems have good weather. Okay, happy weather, right? So the skies are clear, we might be able to see the sun. Low pressure systems start with an L. You know, we can think of another word like lazy or lousy starting with an L. Low pressure systems typically have bad weather. Okay, think of things like stormy thunderstorms. Okay, that would be a low pressure area. Now, another important concept for you to understand is that these pressure systems and these fronts move with the jet stream. Okay, you might recall from previous lessons that the jet stream is a narrow band of winds that travels from west to east. Okay, so from west to east. If you're looking at the paper, that is from left to right. Okay, so the jet streams move from west to east. Okay. Now, if you flip your paper over, you have a couple of weather maps and some questions that we're going to look at. Now, hopefully you go ahead and pause this video and try to do this by yourself. Okay, that would make the most sense. Okay, but if you need some help to get started, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, now, like I said, the jet streams move from west to east, and that's what you see indicated by these arrows. Okay, now we have high pressure over here where there's an H, and low pressure over here where there's an L. So when you think about it, how is the jet stream affecting the pressure systems located in the United States? Well, the jet stream affects the pressure systems by moving the pressure systems from west to east. Okay, it moves the pressure systems throughout. So all you need to write here is something along the lines of the jet stream moves winds and pressure systems from west to east. All right. Now go ahead and think about it. Which U.S. city is currently experiencing cloudy skies? Okay. Now, we're talking about cloudy skies, not clear skies. Cloudy skies, which is typically, bad weather, okay, lazy weather. We talked about it. So low pressure systems is where we're going to have cloudy skies. Okay. Currently experiencing cloudy skies would be a city down here by the low pressure system, which in this case is Jacksonville. When we think about which city will likely experience cloudy skies in the next few days, we're thinking about where the low pressure system is going to move, which in this case would be up towards Baltimore. Now think about it. Which U.S. city recently experienced a high pressure system in the past days? So think about, where did the high pressure system come from? Again, the jet stream moves from west to east. So it started somewhere over here in Portland. A U.S. city that's going to have clear skies in the next 24 hours is somewhere where the high pressure system is going to move, because high pressure systems correlate with clear skies. So in this case, that's Rapid City. And then it asks, are there any frontal patterns on this map? Well, we don't see any warm fronts or cold fronts, so the answer is no. All right, if you still need some more practice with me, go ahead and keep watching the video. But if you're done, you think you get it, keep working on your paper and go ahead and stop listening to me. Okay, let's go and look at map C here. Now, again, how does the jet stream affect the fronts located in the United States? Well, the jet streams move the fronts from west to east. Okay. Now, which U.S. city has recently experienced a cold front? Well, we have our cold front right here, which has the triangles. Okay. And again, the triangles are pointing the direction that it's moving. So the front is coming down this way, or south, meaning recently it has passed through Albany. Now, which U.S. city will likely experience a cold front in the next few days? Okay, well, what comes next? The cold front is moving this way, and it's going to pass through Nashville. All right, which U.S. city experienced or recently experienced a warm front in the past 36 hours? Well, looking at this map, I have my warm front up here, and it's moving from south to north. Okay, so in the past 36 hours, it likely passed through San Diego. And when a warm front passes through an area, it brings warmer temperatures. So in the next 24 hours, the warm front is going to likely pass through Bismarck. And the last question asks if there's any pressure systems on this map. And we look around and we don't see any H's or L's. Okay, so there's no pressure systems on the map. All right, there's one more for you to practice. If you flip your paper over, I'm going to let you do this one by yourself. Okay, so go ahead and look at the map. A few things I noticed by looking at it is I have a warm front over here. I have my cold front over here. And if you look around, we have multiple pressure systems indicated by the H's and L's. Okay, so there's lots of them all around the map. So make sure you pay attention to those. Okay, go ahead and do your best to answer each question. When you finish that, at the very bottom, you're going to use the words to match them up with the correct definition. And that's all I have for you. All right, if you have any questions, make sure to come see me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.